innermost member of my family defines faith as believing something you know isn't true. So this is the Sunday, isn't it? To test what is true and what is not. Jewish carpenters resurrected from the tomb, appearances to his friends and followers, heavenly beings in classic tasteful white. You know, the fact is, folks, that deep truths about humanity have always been conveyed to us through story and poetry and art, more than just the logical words, if you will. Think bedtime story, tucking your child into bed at night to quiet her down and calm her, to prepare her for the sleep and the nightmares that she will have over her young life. Or think of the powerful artistic creations we read in books and creations we see on screens, large and small, which tell us something about what it means to be human, the glory and the guts of it, if you will, and gets us in touch with what it means to be alive. And think story, too, through sound and music. The experience of a sonic tour of the highs and lows and possibilities of what it means to be human. Classical, rock, country, it doesn't matter, made of 1,000 or another people sitting and enjoying this experience and being transformed. You know, we human beings need story, and if we don't have it, we make it up. And there's some lousy stories out there in the world by people that have made them up that aren't too healthy. So, Christianity has told a true story for 2,000 years. The Christian story is rooted in the Jewish and Greek religions going back thousands of years before Jesus. So the story of the resurrection we hear this morning is, in a powerful sense, an old, old story. And like any once-upon-a-time story worth its salt, it's really about the here and now. It's about you and me and our lives now, tested true from generation to generation. A powerful image of this truth, I think, comes through the churches of the East, the Orthodox churches of Egypt, Greece, Russia, the Balkans, Syria, Armenia, and others. They have a gripping, simple, and profound image that touches the head and the heart both. It is the classic icon of the resurrection, the anastasis, or as it has been named, the harrowing of hell. And you have a picture of it on the front of your white booklet this morning. The harrowing of hell. Harrowing is an old English word meaning to rake or to sickle. To harrow is to break up the sod with an iron plow or spike so that it can be suitable for growing food. So the harrowing of hell in front of you this morning, Christ descended into hell to free the righteous captives. Wow, what an image. There he is, the risen Christ, astride hell. You see him? In a gaping blackness, standing, he's like surfing, isn't he? He's surfing on the wood of his carpenter's trade and his cross, his pierced hands and his feet visible. All the forces of disintegration and chaos and evil he has vanquished. He arises with determination and strength and effortless, and his hair is still combed. The gates of hell are not just open, they are blown off their hinges. Look at that, they're just blown off. They couldn't contain the resurrection, it was so big. So next to him are dear Adam, and dear Eve. Notice Eve gets to come first, ladies first. And here he is pulling Adam out as he pulled Eve out of their coffins. The lids also blown off. All the evil implements that constrict and enslave them as human beings. Look at him in that darkness. Can you see him? Manacles, chains, locks, keys, instruments of torture have fallen off and are floating down into the dark abyss. There in that darkness we see a skeleton shackled. Is that the image of the supposed finality of death? But notice this. Adam and Eve look a little bit cautious. Okay? Jesus is not politely motioning Adam and Eve up from their graves as though it was an invitation to tea. Oh, do come up and let's be good human beings together. No, Jesus is not signaling to them, but Jesus is signaling to them to come forth like a soldier in battle, motioning for his troops to follow him. Follow me for a moral and happy life. Not even that. No. He has them by the wrists. You know? Good old Adam. Got him by the wrist. Christ is dragging Adam and Eve out of the death and destruction of oblivion. Christ is on a rescue mission, snatching Satan's hostages out of the hell by a daring raid of God on death and destruction and decay. Just love this image. This ancient image of the Christian story says resurrection is inevitable. That is, it's going to happen, whether we want it or not. Resurrection is inexorable. It cannot be stopped. And resurrection is final, once and for all. It's in the DNA of the cosmos. It's in your DNA and mine. The anastasis of Jesus answers a nagging and natural question of the human soul. Why am I here? What is life about? Where am I going? Does it mean anything? Or are we totally lost? Heck, what does life mean anyway? The answer resounding across humanity's consciousness is this. We are here for love. Hallelujah. We are here to love. Hallelujah. We are here to be loved. Hallelujah. And we are going towards wholeness and holiness. In St. Paul's words, "O death, where is thy sting? O grave, where is thy victory?" You guys have been kicked to the curb. The icon of the resurrection answers that strongly, clearly, and for thousands of years. Human life is holy life. Your life and mine is a holy life. And we're destined for hope. So, friends, if someone here this morning is feeling hopeless, dejected, and lost, take courage. Christ has you by the wrists, pulling you out, saying, "I've got your back. Come this way." Hallelujah. And if someone here this morning is mired in physical or psychological pain, take courage. Look upon those instruments of suffering and torture floating around uselessly in the abyss under Jesus' feet. Jesus says always, but today especially, the enslaving powers inside and outside of you cannot control you any longer. You are set free from being defined by your suffering and illness. Hallelujah. And if someone here this Easter morning feels a bit battered by life, besieged by stress, and just trying to hold it all together, courage. God has you too by the wrists and is pulling you, perhaps even wrenching you up towards a living human hope. Hallelujah. And finally, this morning, anyone here is snickering about all this as preposterous? Come on, Ted. Didn't you go to school? Courage to you guys, too. The Christian story of the resurrection is as preposterous as tucking your child into bed at night with a bedtime story. The Christian story of the resurrection is as preposterous as a sibling rushing across a field to pat her younger brother's knee that's just been skinned. And this resurrection this morning is as preposterous as a visit of hope and connection to a friend in the hospital, collapsed in tears and grief. This Sunday of the resurrection is God's pledge to us that the valleys of the shadow of death that we all will go through will brothers and sisters in Christ. We human beings are meant for hope and not horror, for glory, not for the grave. Is this believing something you know isn't true? Or is this the very power center of being a human being fully